Hi, everybody. And welcome back to another episode of Creative Living. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about therapy and my experiences with it. If you're someone who is looking to begin therapy, or you're confused about what kind of effects it can have, or if you have any questions, I just wanted to share a little bit about my own journey because I feel like even with all the awareness today, people are very skeptical to begin therapy. And I've heard all sorts of things. They say it's too intimidating to open up to a person. They don't know what value it will add. The thing is, people will say and come up with a lot of excuses. And I actually think these are fears. And I'm just hoping that my experiences can demystify some of these things about therapy. So I started therapy a couple of years ago. At the lowest point in my life, I was extremely desperate, clueless. I did not know what to do. I felt trapped and I felt like there was no place or person safe enough for me to confide in or talk to in my life. And the first thing I did was go and join the gym. That always works for me when I'm going through a bad time in life. But then I also thought I really needed to talk to someone because I was really just dying inside. And I just Googled a few names, and my therapist's name came up. I spoke to her on the phone and I really liked the way she talked. I liked her approach and how professional she was about the whole thing. And I read her reviews, and all of them were like 5 or 4.95. That was very reassuring. So, in a way, I think I got lucky. I have heard a lot of bad experiences from different people about therapists. I myself once met someone who was really rude and dismissive and, in fact, quite offensive to me. But this one, I got lucky. And from the first time I met her, I felt extremely safe, extremely comfortable, extremely, it was really comforting. Even with finding the right therapist, I just wanted to tell you all that it took me some time to open up. It was not like I went and shared everything about my life in my first visit. It took us almost a couple of months before I started telling her my deepest, darkest fears, or things that I'm most shameful about, or things that are burying me inside, things like that. That only happened because I was able to trust her, and she created a non judgmental environment for me to feel safe in her presence. And that really helped me. Once we spoke about some of the most nagging things in my life, the first step was to make sure that I have the space to process it. I resource myself with everything that I need to deal with these things happening in my life. And these things were not easy. I was going through multiple things in life at that point. So we started working on it little by little. She gave me the confidence, and she also gave me some tools that helped me create space for me to deal with these things that were happening in my life at my own pace. All of that was really, really helpful. And once that resourcing, like I said, gave me the safety space for my own self care. And with all these things in place, little by little, we started working on one thing after the other. Like we went about resolving one thing, like trying to see what I want to get, where I want to get to here, then another thing. So there were a lot of things that were tangled in my life, and she helped me resolve them one by one instead of me sinking deeper and deeper into it, which I would have definitely on my own. So it was such a painful process now that I look back on it, but I'm so proud that I was able to overcome it and I'm here today. And I understand that my experience might not be the same as what you're going through. Some people go through a lot more serious issues and they have a lot more active crisis going on in their lives. A good therapist can always help is what I believe in, and I got really, really lucky with her. I'm grateful for her. And after 2 years of therapy, continuous therapy, I remember when I went in, I was in such a bad state that I saw her every week. There were like 4 sessions a month. And then after like a year or so, we made it twice a month. And now I'm at a point where I only meet her once a month. So I think that itself is great progress. And I do like to check in once in a while, 1 month. I think it's really important. But now that I don't have an active crisis going on in my life, but it helps me talk things through that are bothering me or not just bothering me. Sometimes these days I use my therapy space to sort of talk about my future, to build, to create, to design the kind of life I want to live, or the tools at my disposal. So one thing that I'm really happy about is therapy today has become a tool to not just survive but also to thrive. Like, how can I grow from here? How can I build from here? How can I go to the next level of myself using therapy as a tool, learning more about myself and breaking my own patterns. I wouldn't say everything is resolved. There are so many things that come up. There are so many things I've made progress on. But overall, it has been life changing and a life saving experience for me. So, having said that, so this is my experience about therapy. But I also want to call out a few things or draw caution to a few things about therapy now that I have been doing it for a while. And also, like a trend I see now on Instagram, YouTube, or among a lot of young people today. One is, don't label everything. Sometimes life is just life, people are just people. You don't have to label them or box them or define them in some way. Like, I think some of us, those labels are somewhat comforting because they give meaning to the things that we do in life. But human beings are capable of evolving, and we are not the same person we were 5 years ago or even a year ago. So I would, even if you're doing therapy or considering therapy or learning therapy from Instagram, don't label everything. I don't think that helps. Like I said, don't define yourself or box yourself into things. Like, one example I can think of is attachment type. There is so much content out there that says you have anxious attachment or you have avoidant attachment. Maybe there is logic in some of these things, and I'm sure they have their merit, but applying that in real life dating world or applying that in real life relationships, and then boxing people, labeling relationships and say I act this way because I'm an avoidant person, or I act this way because I'm an anxious person, I think it tends to complicate things. It is a lot better to just speak in plain human speak and ask for what you want, and see if the other person is willing to give that to you. I think that will save everybody a whole lot of time. And then there are also these other syndromes that I think people tend to latch on to or associate themselves with. Like, sometimes people are just arrogant, and sometimes people make mistakes. That doesn't mean they have narcissistic syndrome. Sometimes some people are not humble, right? Or they're having a good day and they feel great about themselves. So you don't have to attach these kind of harmful words and labels. I'm also learning this. I have also come a long way. Earlier, I have had my own journey with this. So that is something I really want to encourage people to think about a little bit. So there are like 4 or 5 things that I wanted to leave you with. If you're considering therapy, definitely do it. Find a great therapist, and it will absolutely change your life. Even if you're not in a bad space in life, I feel like a good therapist can help you learn a lot about yourself, understand blocks that are holding you back, and see how you can walk towards them or you can overcome them. Having said that, excessively talking about it and making it part of your identity, whatever you learn in therapy, making that part of your identity, analyzing it a lot, spreading it a lot, giving it too much importance is also not good. Second thing is, do not use therapy as a tool to run away from things or discomfort instead of sitting with it. It's great that therapy sometimes helps us understand why certain things are happening in our lives or why we are a certain way, but that reasoning is not enough, that awareness is not enough. I think you need to really sit with it, introspect, and also apply it instead of just, some people stop at the analysis, they feel amazing, then they go and talk about it to everyone, but that's not the goal. Really sit with it and see what you want to do with the information instead of spreading that information. Third thing is thinking you always need to be fixing something. So everybody falls into this trap. Me, definitely. Self improvement is a continuous, lifelong process. And sometimes therapy can make you feel like this needs to be worked on, that need to be worked on. But a good therapist will always show you the progress you've made, and they will always come at you from a place of gentleness, self love, and a lot of empathy. I would recommend practicing that empathy for yourself. Don't be in that fix me mode. I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix that. Don't do that. Let things take their time. Know that you are work in progress and you will make mistakes, but as long as you can keep the promises you make to yourself and to your loved ones, you're okay. Yeah. Fourth one is getting too attached to your therapist. Developing strong likes, dislikes, or any sort of feelings about your therapist is not good. I get that sometimes it can be hard to find a good therapist or someone who aligns with you, but therapizing your therapist or analyzing your therapist's methods and then developing some sort of emotion towards them, whether it's like, dislike, I don't know if that is helpful. I feel like people are different, professionals are different. It's just like your gynac, right? You, somebody will like, somebody will not like. So if you like them, great, continue. If you don't like them, please know that this is a trial and error process and you will meet all sorts of people and you may not agree with all of them. Yeah. The last thing is, you are a work in progress every day. Life will be full of ups and downs, and you will ebb and flow along with life's courses. So just be extremely optimistic and know that life can get better at any point, no matter what you've done. Even if you think you've done the most horrible things, you've made the most horrible mistakes, you've chosen wrong things, or there are things that happen to you that are way beyond your control and none of that makes sense to you. You can't, you've lost yourself, you don't know who you are, whatever it is, I feel like therapy can still turn things around and you can still turn things around. So I think it's really important to know that you're work in progress, and that gives me a lot of hope for my future, because I know that no matter what happens, like, I can start again and life is still beautiful, right? So yeah, these are the few things that I had in mind, and I'll leave you with this. You have every right to pursue yourself in this world and pursue your health, pursue your nutrition, pursue your mind, pursue things that bring you joy. In short, pursue yourself. You are put on this earth so that you can live your best lives and you can express yourself to the highest extent. So, yeah. And if you hit snags on the road in that process and you feel like, should I do therapy? Should I not do therapy? My advice would be definitely try it out and be patient with it. If you have any other questions or if you want to share your own experiences with therapy, please leave me a comment. I always look forward to reading those. Thank you so much for your time and for being here.